Sony A7iii 1.8. This is the one I was waiting for. So this is the lens, the final lens in this 3-episode series. The A7iii 1.8 is the lens that I use all the time for everything. Portraits, medium shots. This lens stays on the body of my A7 III at all times. You'll find that the 28 and the 55 I swap out. This 85 does not come off. Back in 2017, Sony announced this 85mm 1.8 affordable lens, the FE 85. When I heard this was coming out was when I was hearing rumours about the A7 III, and it really piqued my interest of an affordable way into the Sony range. Before I actually bought the A7 III, I purchased an A7 II just to see if I'd like the system. Coming from the Canon range, I had a 5D and a 6D, which were great cameras. They'd served me really well, and I've had Canon for 10 years. It really was this lens and the potential with the eye autofocus on the A7 III that got me hooked. Just talking you through the lens itself, it's very well built. It's not as well built as the 55, but it is still sturdy. The barrel is made primarily of plastic. It is a hard plastic, but the mount and thread itself are metal. Just taking the lens hood off, you can see the size of it is actually quite small. Comparing it to the 55, it's quite a bit chunkier, but not much bigger. Just showing you the front, we have a nice bit of glass on the front, obviously the back, very similar to the other lenses in the series, but the difference with this one is we have the focus button on the side. So in pressing that, it goes to eye autofocus, so the shutter button is normal focus. I've pretty much always got my thumb on this 85mm for the eye autofocus. It is perfect. With the A7 III, it really is spot on. We've also got a manual switch for the autofocus and manual focus. And in manual focus, exactly like the other two, it is super smooth manual focus ring. Just a pleasure to use. So as I say, when I pair this with the A7 III, the results are stunning. I actually think I could shoot a whole wedding with just this lens. If I had the room to get back for portraits, I could do it all day long. So out of these 3 lenses, it is the heaviest, weighing in at, which as you can see isn't actually that heavy. It balances really well on the A7 III. It's a lovely lens to use. It's the mirrorless system. The whole thing's quite lightweight, to be honest. Quickly pop it on the camera body now so you can see what it looks like. And there we have it on the camera. It's a lovely feel to it, a lovely size. It is quite clearly a bit bigger. You can see where the barrel comes out just in there, but you've still got room for your hand and your fingers. I don't know how well you can see that on there, but it is absolutely fine. I've got chunky hands and it works really well. Because the form factor is so small, the weight of this is just right. I tend to hold with my left hand just there, ready to go on the autofocus button, and it works perfectly. As I've already mentioned, and as you've seen in the rest of the series, there's a few images I want to show you. I've got quite a few on this one. It was quite hard to narrow it down to my favourite few, but this is just a across-the-board sample of what I can do with it in daytime, nighttime. It really does perform extremely well. I'm sure you've had enough of me talking anyway. Let's go and have a look at these images. So first up, we have the bride coming in with her dad. Lovely moment between the two of them just as they're walking towards the church. As you can see, super sharp. All of these images really are. This is the groom having a walk in the rain just to cool off while he's waiting for the bride to arrive. A little bit nervous, but again, lovely bokeh on this. Bride walking down the aisle with her dad. It's just great at capturing that focus, nailed on, straight onto her eye. This is one of the great things about this Sony lens. Great confetti moment, and you can see how much there was in the air. Didn't matter. Caught straight onto the groom's eye on that one, I think. Another shot where I led on the floor, just to give a slightly different perspective. A lot of foreground bokeh, and again, just look at the backdrop. Absolutely stunning. Used it for a portrait on a few occasions when I've got the room to stand back. You're not really going to find anything much sharper than this. This was actually a Brennheiser method shot, so I'll zoom right in on this, and again you can see just absolutely lovely, and the bokeh's perfect on this. Nice little moment of the bride and groom, just having some fun. Again, you can see the rendering on the steps, absolutely lovely. Bit more foreground bokeh, trying to bring that into my weddings this last year. Lovely colouring, lovely. Love this one, focused right on the bride's eye. Just a nice moment, got her to look at the camera. Brings you in, draws you in. Bit of fun between these two, caught them having a laugh actually in between shots. These are the best moments if you can capture these, and again with this lens it's never an issue. Bit of off-camera flash with softbox. This was quite early evening, so it's still quite bright in the summer. Here's another sunset shot. The sun's just going down in the distance behind. You can see it coming through the dress. And again, you can see I quite like to capture their eyes where I can. And one of my favourites with the A7iii last year, the stunning sunset we had. I would have probably liked them to have gone back outside later on, but we didn't quite. And even with this shot, actually, clouds came over and we didn't quite get the sun. I would have liked the sun to have dropped out of sight and had a more orange sky, but it's still a lovely moment. So as you can see, pretty stunning results. I've never been more happier with an 85mm on any camera body, let alone this one. The Canon, I've had a few 85s with the Canon. I've tried the Sigma, I've tried the native Canon lenses. They were great. None of them performed as well as this budget lens. They were all more expensive. This one just clearly is so way ahead of the competition in the price range. It is superb. I do believe it is better than the Batis. There's the 85mm 1.8 Batis, which doesn't have the focus button. If it did, I'd probably look a little bit more into that lens, but I've had a little hands-on with it before and I cannot see any benefits of having that lens over this one. I know there's meant to be some, but tangible benefits that you'd receive from using it at a wedding, haven't seen them. Not worth it for me. As you probably saw in those images, sharpness across the frame is absolutely superb. I always shoot wide open. That is something I like to do. Pretty much all of those images are shot at 1.8, apart from the final sunset shot. For obvious reasons, I couldn't shoot it at 1.8. That was different, but all the others super sharp across the frame, didn't matter. Being a modern lens, the lens flare is pretty well controlled, is what you'd expect. I do like to shoot into the sun, and I also like to do some backlight camera flash as well, and I try and hide the flash on those sort of shots, but absolutely fine. So the bokeh, I think is great. Some people don't like the bokeh. I've seen other reviews where they've mentioned it to be busy. It's not as good as the 55, but it is still great. I think it's superb. Again, just going back to the value for money, if you need perfect bokeh or you want that special creamy bokeh, I think you're gonna have to spend a lot more money and get the G Master, the 1.4 G Master. That's an amazing lens. Again, it comes down to how much you want to pay for what is not much more benefit for the extra cost. Yes, it's an extra stopper light, but that's all you're really getting, that and the bokeh itself. So I think this is exceptional value for money. It comes in at under £600 in the UK and under $600 in the US. It's superb. I don't think you'll find a better portrait lens for the money anywhere, on any system, if I'm honest. So these are the three lenses that I would recommend anyone who likes to shoot primes have in their kit bag. If you're not going to go out and spend £5,000 on a bunch of lenses, these are the ones to consider: the 28, the 55 and the 85. I hope you've enjoyed this little series about these three lenses. I think they're great. I've really enjoyed using them over the last 6 months, and I'm going to be hard pushed to upgrade them going into the 1.4 range or anything like that and get any sort of result that's going to be that much better. On the Sony A7iii system, they work wonderfully. I haven't used them on the A7R3. I'm very, very keen to use them on an A7S3, should that ever come out. Been waiting now for quite a long time for news on that. I was hoping for news about 6 months ago. Doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, but as soon as that does come out, that is a system I may be jumping over to. I still use the GH5 and a Panasonic G7 as a backup for any sort of wedding film and commercial work, mainly for 4K 60 and unlimited recording time. The whole video side of things is something that I'm keen to explore. but that's something for another video. I will be exploring video use with the A7 III, and we've actually got some vintage lenses, starting with a very nice wide Tamron 17mm vintage lens, which will be coming up in the next few weeks to be used on the A7 III, so keep your eyes out for that one. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification to be kept informed of our next video. I've enjoyed this little series, so if there's anything else you want to see, please let us know your thoughts about this series and what you do want to see in the future in the comments below. So there we have it, the Sony A7iii 1.8, my favourite of the three. You really should consider getting this and putting it in your kit bag. You won't regret it. I'm off to shoot some more, but I will catch you in the next one.